Whether you like it or not, artificial intelligence is here. And the speed at which it's changing is unbelievable. The things that we can do now, we couldn't even dream of even 6 months ago, folks. So the artificial intelligence is with us. It is here. If only we had an AI expert to hold us by the hand and guide us into this new and fast changing world. We have, of course, got the mighty Youssef that will be joining us very shortly to take us through it. So wherever you're at on the AI journey, there will be some of you here that will be really skeptical, in fact, entirely suspicious of it. And there will be others that are already using it every single day. We're going to invite you to consider this in new ways. And I'm hoping that the session this evening will give you the confidence to roll up your sleeves and dive in and have a go. That's what the session is that we've got for you this evening, folks. And it's lovely to see you all. Please type in the chat if you are ready. Are you feeling ready? Type the word red in the chat. If you can't be bothered to type the whole word. There we go. And give us an emoji as well, folks. Let's have an emoji off here because it's fastest finger first. Let's see who's got some emojis. Because I'm ready for this session, folks. We're going to need to support each other through this because it's all about tech, isn't it? Excellent use of the party emoji, Fabi from the Rebel team. Thank you, Elizabeth. Sending love hearts back to you. Rockets, Oliver, and rockets as well, Elizabeth. High performing emoji tonight from you. Loving that. Thank you, folks. Yeah, it's going to be a superb session. I know exactly the stuff that Youssef's going to cover with us, and I know you're going to get some massive value from it. So let's get going, folks. A couple of announcements first before I hand over to the mighty Youssef. Bear with me, just having a bit of a Zoom moment. Here we go. It does this to me every week. Okay, a couple of announcements first of all then. I might have mentioned a couple of times that we've got a course coming up in Brent. And the details are on the screen starting on the 1st of September and 1st of December. We're going to be live in person in Brent. Can you see my slides, guys? Give us a thumbs up if you can see the Brent slide on. Okay, excellent. I had this moment where I lost you all for a second again. So, okay, so live in person in Brent on the 1st of December. We've got one coming up just before that, actually. So if you're in the area of the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea in London, we have got a live event. Look at the dates of that one, folks, because we've got lots and lots of time to help you build businesses in the room. So if you'd like to join us in person, we would absolutely love to see you there. And team will stick the links in the chat for you in case the QR code doesn't work. Nice work for Tracy for diving into the QR codes. Loving that. So sometimes I fire my phone at them and I think I just want someone to send me a link. So whatever works for you guys. You've got the QR code, you've got the links. We've got a course in Brent. We've got a course in Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. Both of them are live in face-to-face in the room, actual human contact and everything. They'll be running during the day, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. And we've also got 2 courses happening in Scotland very, very soon. So starting on the 10th of November in Stirling, and then South Lanarkshire, we go to South Lanarkshire on the 17th of November. Again, the team will pop the links in the chat for you. Laura will be running the one in South Lanarkshire with me, I believe. I think I'm going to be there for a few days as well. So if you're in the Scotland area, we'd absolutely love to see you. Okay, and a couple more bits of announcements before I run through the small print with you. One is the case study. So many of you have taken advantage of the case study, and the team are having an absolute riot going through these. It's an amazing, folks. We're really, really enjoying reading them, and your stories are incredible. We want to help you to tell your story by sharing with our sponsors and our partners the kind of businesses that we start, because Jack in the Rebel team, who looks after our brand, among many things, he's got one pet hate: stock photos, right? So we want real images of real people starting real businesses, and let us help you to tell your story and put your business in front of our audience too. So the details on the screen, please get involved in that if you haven't done so already. And a reminder at the end of the session, thank you to everybody that's already filled out feedback. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube and you've already clicked like and subscribe, because you know the game. To help us get our messages, are totally free business information, inspiration, and practical help to as many people as we can to help us grow our impact in the world. And we've already had over 2,000 people have been through this course since September, which is amazing, but we want to keep that going. And a reminder, at the end of the session, there will be a feedback form. Hi, Halima. Fancy seeing you here. With feedback forms that will happen at the end of. So as you click the close on the Zoom call, the feedback form will pop up. As most of you already know, if someone takes part in the course and doesn't fill in a feedback form, guys, you know what happens. Type in the chat if you know what happens. If you take advantage of our course and you don't fill out a feedback form, that's it. You got it, Levi. You got it, Tracy. Save the fairies, everybody. And look, I'm messing with you a little, but there is a really serious note behind this. The feedback that you give us is actually what helps us to keep the courses free. Because without the feedback, we can't demonstrate the impact of what we deliver. And we're going to do we're going to capture some feedback from you for the entire course. So we're doing a daily one, and then we're going to help you reflect. And part of our reflections will be part of the course, folks. And the stuff that you share with us is absolute gold for us, because it means that we can talk about starting businesses differently. We can talk about, with real authority, these are the people that came to the course. This is what they learned from it. And this is why you don't need money to start a business. And it really helps us to fight against the machine. You know what I mean? Because there's a big machine out there that we're fighting against with a different approach to starting a business. So thank you in advance. Please complete the feedback. And a little bit of small print just to get us up and running, folks. And I get messages about the small print. Some of you like this stuff. I'm not going to ask you to read that because you already know what's in it, that we're here to create a safe space. And I think so many of you have witnessed and been part of the coaching sessions, for example, and the Q&A, where the space that we've created together really helps people make change. And I can't underestimate that. So thank you for continuing to help us feel like it's a safe place to be. Business isn't a competition. We're all running our own race. And with that in mind, don't get too dejected if somebody seems to be much further ahead than you. There always is, in my experience. There is always somebody ahead. So avoid comparing the size of your pineapples like the Donegans get excited about, because we're all starting in different places, folks. It doesn't matter where you start. It just matters that you start. And that's what we're here to help you do. But you don't have to take everything we say, especially this evening. This evening is going to be a great example of that, because Yusuf's plan, what you're going to see happen is he's going to blow our minds with what's possible now, right? But that doesn't mean to say you have to do it. He's just going to show us what's possible, as well as helping us figure out, well, how do we use this technology for little old us? How can we get started with this? So you choose the bits today that are most valuable to you and ignore the rest. All right. But I guarantee, folks, that if you treat this like a refrigerator course, what you put in is what you're going to get out. If you give Yusuf the benefit of your attention, who knows, maybe you'll come up with a new insight into technology that can really help you. It might be something he says. It might be something that one of you guys share in the chat. It might be something I say, unlikely, but it might be something I say. Or it might be just one of those light bulb moments that sometimes comes to us. Especially when a tech subject, remember to breathe. I would avoid multitasking for this one. Give Yusuf your attention. And I did promise you that he's got a really nice voice to listen to. Okay, so he will soothe us through artificial intelligence. He will guide us. And I've just seen your message, Margaret. Congratulations on your progress with your business. That looks really, really cool. 2 inquiries, 2 new business contacts, thanks to Rebel. There we go. So we're going to avoid multi-level marketing so that we can keep this place safe and people don't feel like they're being sold to. And remember, this course is written by people with neurodiversity, with neurodiverse audiences in mind. So if we need to do better, if we need to do something different, please tell us, because we're learning all the time to make this course as impactful as we can and as accessible as we can, regardless of your background, where you're from, your education levels, or what kind of neurodiversity you've got going on. We're trying to figure out how to help as many people as possible. If you don't like the course, you can get your money back. I can 100% guarantee that. And if you've spent money on this course, something's gone horribly wrong. But because thanks to our sponsors, Camden Council, South Ribble, Chorley, Bridgend, West Berkshire, Brent, and Uttlesford on behalf of North Essex, that's easy for me to say, have sponsored this for their residents, and they've allowed the course to be opened up for anyone who wants to attend and get value from it, because they know that their residents will benefit too. So thank you to those sponsors for helping us to make this happen. They're the awesome councils, along with our other clients. No favoritism. Cool. Okay, so folks, are you ready for some mischief? So I first met Yusuf in a place called Staniez-sur-la-Thames, which in the UK is also known as Staines. And Yusuf was hijacked by Halima from the Rebel team. Halima found him at an event that we went to. She said, I've met this guy. He's fantastic. I think he'd be a brilliant presenter. So she convinced him to get on a plane and fly back from Africa, where he was hanging out in Tunisia doing some co-working like you do. He flew back to the UK for us, and he ran a little session with me in the room. The first time I met him, we're in Staines, and he's never seen our content before, right? And he said, I'll do a little session so you can see how I present. And I said, well, you haven't had a chance to prepare the slides. He said, no, just take me through a few of the slides. And I sat with him for about 8 or 9 minutes. And then off he went to present to the rebels that were in Staines. Grace from the Rebel team was there too. And 45 minutes later, I'm mesmerized, staring at him going, how have you just delivered a session that you've never seen before, with slides that you've never seen before, and everybody in the room, including me, is hanging off his every word. So I thought, right, Yusuf, he doesn't know it yet, but he's joining the Rebel team. We'll figure it out. And I've been doing this a long time. So I've been running Rebel courses since 2012. And the number one course that I ran in terms of my experience and the impact that we had in the room was a course that we ran in Stratford-upon-Avon. And the reason we had so much impact is because Yusuf was in the room. So, guys, we are in safe hands tonight. I'm probably going to stop there because he's going to send me a message any minute saying, shut up, Simon, let me get on. And you said you were going to keep it humble. And I sort of agreed, but not wholly, because I really want to acknowledge this guy. By the way, he was talking about artificial intelligence before it was in the media, before ChatGPT was a thing. He was talking about AI and experimenting with artificial intelligence way before it became trendy. So he's got lots of experience, and he's right at the tip of the artificial intelligence arrow. So if you would like to hear from Yusuf and get me off the screen so that you can experience some of this guy's knowledge and skills, please type on in the chat. If you're watching us on YouTube, good evening. Please type in the comments, let's go Yusuf. And that's spelled Y-U-S-U-F. And if we get at least 3 of you, then I'll shut up and we'll get this fine gentleman on the screen, folks. How are we doing? Is anyone? Oh, no. Look. Oh, God, everyone wants to hear from you, Yusuf. That means that you've got to join us. Round of applause, including your cats, dogs, and rabbits that you've got in your house. Welcome, Yusuf. Hello, my friend. I'll shut up now, I promise.
Hello, Simon, and hello, everyone. It's great to see you all. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And Simon, thank you for keeping it humble and for not saying too much. I do massively appreciate it. Wow, everyone, this is an incredible moment, honestly. Almost 2 years ago, Simon was just saying that I had the opportunity to come along and to meet this incredible group of rebels. I remember speaking with Halima on the phone whilst I was in Tunisia, and she asked me about coming to London to have this opportunity to present. And I remember saying to her, look, I'm the type of person where I'll jump in the water and I'll figure out how to swim later. And she said, great, that is the exact kind of rebel energy that we want. And when I actually showed up at the course and I had the pleasure of meeting the team members there, I very quickly understood that there was a culture at Rebel that was all about being resourceful. And sometimes in life, but with things whereby we might have a challenge, we might have a roadblock, we might have some resistance to different things, and maybe you might have some of those things going on in your head right now with regards to AI. And remember, this might be the first thing I'm going to ask you to write down, right? It's never the lack of resources, it's only a lack of resourcefulness, right? So actually do write that one down, right? I'm seeing some of the comments are saying that I'm lagging and it's quite glitchy. Please bear with me. Also, if you see me looking down here, then that's because this is where your videos are and this is where your pictures are. And when I'm speaking to you, I'm going to look right here at the camera. So, inshallah, my signal bears with us. But yes, that first note, it's never a lack of resources, it's only a lack of resourcefulness. Intelligence. I'm simply going to show you some ways that you can be resourceful with some of these tools that can help you to work in a way that will be smarter, faster, and easier. So with that, let's dive straight into it. You and if you can please pull up the slides, then we will go straight into this. So can everybody see on screen where it says using AI to drive traffic to your business? If you can't see this on screen, I'm going to ask you to put a car emoji inside of the chat, just so I know that you can see this. The car emoji, or you can just type the word car in the chat, that will work as well. All right, brilliant. There we go. Awesome. Oh, we even got a tractor. Brilliant. Awesome. Okay. So, getting straight into tonight's session. Okay, here we go. All right. This pic that you can see on screen takes me back 8 weeks ago when I was in a hospital bed, admitted to hospital, and about to go under the knife. Now, at this moment, although I was told that the chances of my operation going well and being successful were very high, I was also aware that I may not actually have the opportunity to come back. Now, for that reason, I said what I thought would be my last words, and I went under. When I went under, Alhamdulillah, thank God, not long after, about 2.5 hours after my operation. And at this point, I was incredibly grateful to be alive once more. And I was incredibly grateful that although I had lost my appendix, the operation was successful and my appendix did not end up rupturing inside of me, causing much bigger complications. So the first hurdle was over. The next day after resting overnight in the hospital, a nurse came round to take my order for breakfast. And this nurse asked me, of course, what it is I do for work and whether or not my stay in hospital would be impacted. And that I work with AI, artificial intelligence. And at this moment, she paused and she looked at me and she said, "So you're the reason why my friend has just lost her job." And in that moment, it hit me. And I realized that I couldn't, because her friend losing her job was not my fault per se. It wasn't even AI's fault. Her friend losing her job or the way that things seem right now in the landscape of work right now, it quite simply seems that AI is this thing that might take people's jobs. And in reality, that's not true. The only real threat is not knowing how to use AI to your advantage so that you can stay relevant and that you can stay effective in today's landscape. And today's session is all about, of course, equipping you on really simple AI tools that are going to help you to stay in the game as our landscape will inevitably change. Now, we can't necessarily ignore the fact that, AI is going to change the landscape, but we can get prepared for it. And that's exactly what this session is intended for today. So let us continue. Before we go any further, I'm seeing some requests of people to turn off my video. Let me give that a go. So before we go any further, it's super important for us to set our intentions, right? Before we start anything, what is really important is to be really clear on exactly what we intend to get out of anything before we do it. Because most of the time, as Simon said, right, this is a fridge kind of a session. You're going to get whatever you put in. If you set yourself an intention coming into a session like this, then most likely, in more instances, you're going to end up gravitating closer towards your intention simply because that's where your focus is. So, given that, I'm going to share my intention with you. Now, you might be somebody on this call who is happy with the job that you currently have. You could be happy with the work that you're currently doing, and you're just curious about how side hustle maybe to bring in something extra on the side. You might be in full-time work whereby you're thinking about your side hustle being your escape plan to get you out of the work that you're currently involved in. And you also might be somebody that is already in business and you're simply looking for a way for you to pivot so that you can take your business to the next level and continue to grow and scale your business. Regardless of where it is you're at, I want you to set your intentions for the session so that you're clear on exactly what you like to get out of tonight's session. And my intention for you is to make this session super simple. I want to create simplicity, I want to create ease, and I want to create empowerment around using AI so that by the time we get off this call, we're all going to be one step closer towards what I would call AI fluency. So, looking at these targets on screen, you're going to fall into one of these five categories. You might be in the first category where you are actively using AI on a daily basis. You're very comfortable using AI, and it's literally a part of all of your workflows. You could be number two in that red ring where you're experimenting with AI. You've got to grips with it, you know it exists, you're playing around with it, and you're getting some use out of using AI on a day-to-day basis. You could be in the third ring where you're interested about AI, although you're not quite familiar with exactly how to use it, or you don't really know how much it could help you on a day-to-day basis. You could be in that fourth ring where you're skeptical and you're thinking, oh, this thing called AI, I don't want to play with this, I don't want to engage in it. Anything that I give it is going to live on the internet forever, and I don't want any of that happening. Or you could be in the fifth ring where you are just starting with AI. You've only just heard about it and you want to understand a little bit more about it so you can get a little bit more familiar with it. Depending on where you are, we have the first poll coming up where you can scan this. Ewan is going to share the poll in the chat so that you can go ahead and answer this and just share where it is you're starting out with AI. Whether you're somebody who is active, whether you're somebody who is experimenting, whether you're interested, skeptical, or just starting out. Please share where it is you currently are with regards to your usage of AI. All right. I'll give that a moment. And awesome. All right. I'm seeing lots of you are like ones and twos. Some of us are fives and threes. Brilliant stuff. Okay. Fabi has shared the poll. So please do go ahead and vote on that if you haven't already. and we'll get a really clear idea in terms of where it is you're at. This is really good. Thank you all for your comments as well and sharing where it is you're currently at with regards to AI. It gives me a lot in terms of how it is I can bring this session to life for you. Okay, all right. Coming right back to it. Okay, the way that you want to think about AI, consider it to be a digital toolbox. Any toolbox that you have a hold of, there's going to be a variety of different tools inside the toolbox that you can use for a variety of different reasons. The most important thing, however, is that you understand with AI simply being a bunch of different tools that you can use, there's going to be different tools that should be useful in different situations. So if we look at this, and if I ask you, which tool is better, the screwdriver or the drill, why don't you share inside of the chat so I can see your comments and tell me which tool is better, the screwdriver or the drill? Brilliant. I can tell you have all been rebelized. I'm seeing the answer being it depends on the job. Exactly. It depends on the job, right? That's exactly the correct answer. It depends on the job. Both of them are useful. In fact, they have different uses. And that's exactly how AI is as well. AI can be something much like if you have a screwdriver, it could be overkill if you're simply using uh, the drill for a job that only needs a screwdriver. Similarly, if you're using a screwdriver whereby you could get a lot more use out of a drill, then for sure, you're going to want to use the drill. And in many instances, the uh, the ability to use the drill is going to make your work far more easy, more efficient, and it's going to enable you to get the job done much faster with a lot more ease. And even still, again, with regards to using AI, don't think that AI is simply this tool that you can use and it's going to do absolutely everything for you. AI is great for the first drafts, the first ideas, the first instances that you want to bring things to life for. Once you have done that, you're going to need to make sure that you put the finishing touches onto whatever it is AI has created for you. And you can see in the picture, I'm working at height. I'm finishing off those last touches to make sure that whatever it is we're putting together is going to work exactly as it needs to. And that's the same way that you want to be able to use AI. So getting into a working definition, so we're all clear on really what AI is. What is generative AI? I'm sure you've heard this term. I'm sure you've heard agentic AI. I'm sure you've heard a whole bunch of different terms, machine learning, all of that stuff. We're not going to go down the rabbit hole of definitions and technical jargon. All we want to understand is what really is generative AI. And a simple way that I like to think about it is digital tools that create brand new content for you rather than just searching for things that already exist. So much like how you can go on Google and you can search up an image. Say if you need an image of a plant or an image of a cake because you have a cake making business, of course, you can simply Google that, and Google's going to show you exactly what already exists, the content that's already out there. Or the same way that you can go on a website just by typing in the URL, whatever's going to come up is what already exists. AI or generative AI specifically is a kind of tool that can help you to create brand new content for you. As you create this brand new content, it's stuff that didn't necessarily exist before. It is based on patterns of what was there previously. However, it is something new that you can create entirely through your own thinking and what we call prompting. Prompting is simply a way of giving directions to AI so that it can have some guidance around what it should be creating for you. So, diving into some of these different tools and figuring out how generative AI can actually help us, it's important to consider different scenarios in our day-to-day work where we can look at how we can actually use AI to be more efficient and more effective. If you are simply trying to think, ideation, right? All you need to do is simply use a platform like ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, I'm sure you've heard of it by now, even if you've never used it before. This platform is incredible for creative brainstorming, getting fresh perspectives, and coming up with new solutions to things that you might not have thought about before. Now, the important thing is that you don't necessarily want to just use this. Again, as I said, you're going to need to put your finishing touches on things. However, idea generation using ChatGPT is a brilliant way to get your first drafts of ideas together. And you can use it in that way to reflect. Sometimes, right? I'll share this with you all. In some instances, people feel a little bit more open to speak to an AI platform like ChatGPT because they know that it's an AI platform and it's not a human being. Can anybody share why they think people may be more comfortable speaking with an AI platform like ChatGPT rather than a human being? There's one word beginning. There we go. No bias, no anxiety, no judgment, right? That's exactly it, right? People don't get judged by AI. It's just a robot. It's just a platform. And so with this, if you have an idea that might even be a little bit out of the box, or something that you think if you shared it with your best friend, they might, tease you a little bit about it, then of course you can use a platform like AI simply for you to test your ideas, to think about things. ChatGPT is a brilliant platform to be able to do that, right? Next up, if you need to design images, image creation, phenomenal platform, Gemini. In my experience, and again, I've tested all of these platforms. In my experience, the best platform for designing images and visual content creation is Gemini. Now, again, if you simply need to get a picture of, I don't know, a banana, if you want it to be a red banana with legs and four eyes, you can type that into Gemini and Gemini will create what that image is, right? I know it sounds wild, right? But understand that you can literally type to these platforms in plain English, and a platform like Gemini will go ahead and create to the best of its ability what it thinks that you want to have made. And then it will show that to you and you can download it. Now, a question that some of you might be thinking is, okay, great, I can create these images, I can create some of these different ideas. What about usage? You know, how much of these am I allowed to use in terms of like copyright, etc., right? Somebody has just put that in the chat, image creation. I think that was Jules who just said it. I have a hard time with this due to scraping the internet, using other people's images. Copyright and IP is a big issue in the creative sector. That is true. Now, with regards to ChatGPT or Gemini in this instance, generating these images, you can use these images. The only caveat, perhaps, is that you don't have exclusive rights to the image that Gemini might create for you. Simply said, if you do get Gemini to create the red banana for you with four legs and two eyes, then it can create that image and it will also say that it may regenerate this image for somebody else if they ask for something similar. So I hope that sort of answers that question. If that was a question in your head about the usage rights of creating with a platform like Gemini. Next up, we have writing. Now, writing is super important. To share with you, I do have a background in copywriting. Copywriting, not that I can put a copywriting stamp on your idea or your image. I mean, writing copy, writing words that sell, and writing words that communicate, connect, and clarify your position with your ideal customers. Writing is something critical to how it is we communicate when we are unable to use our voice. And I've only just gone and seen somebody create a red banana with eyes and four limbs in the chat, and they may have used Gemini to do it. Roseanne, brilliant work. You've just gone ahead and created exactly what it is I just spoke about. Brilliant stuff. Love to see that happening live. For those of you on YouTube, it's in the comments. I'm not sure if I can even share this particular picture that's been created, but it just goes to show what's possible. And yes, Roseanne did use Gemini to create that. So thank you for that particular example. Coming back to writing, super important to be able to write. And again, this is for first draft instances. Because you want to put your touch, your finishing touch on anything that AI creates. So when you're making emails, social posts, or creating engaging content, using a platform like Claude is brilliant. And I'm going to be honest with you, I can't explain exactly why. Here's what I mean by that when I say I can't explain exactly why. I've tested ChatGPT for writing things, creating emails, creating content. I've also tested Gemini with the exact same things. And then I tested Claude. And for me, I don't know if any of you experienced this, if you have used ChatGPT, it seems almost as though sometimes ChatGPT will give you uh, the answers that it thinks you want to hear. It almost just tells you what it thinks you want to hear rather than what you actually want to have created. Now, when I first used Claude, it was like a breath of AI fresh air, simply because Claude actually gave me direct communication. If I asked it if something was off about a post I was about to make and where it could be improved, it would actually tell me the improvements I could make. And it would actually tell me what was wrong with what I was about to post. So Claude, in my opinion, doesn't have a bias towards trying to please you. It seems a lot more neutral, and it's designed to help you to actually get to the crux of what it is you're trying to create, especially from a writing perspective. Claude is also a platform which is brilliant with data analysis. If you need to look at lots of data and then make a decision based on that data, Claude is a brilliant platform for that. And yes, all of these platforms, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, you can get right into entirely for free. It's the rebel way. The tools and the platforms that we share with you are designed to be as accessible as possible. Hence, we're always looking for you to be able to use the things that we recommend entirely for free or as cheaply as possible. And we do love free, right? Is there a cost afterwards? I'm just looking through the comments here as well. With most of these particular platforms, there is a cost if you choose that you would like to upgrade and get some additional features. But all of these platforms are brilliant for you to use exactly as they are on all of their free platforms as well. So remember, idea generation, ChatGPT, design assistance, images, Gemini. If you are trying to write something and you're trying to analyze data, then Claude will be your partner in creation there. All right. So, what exactly do you want to be creating with AI? What kind of content do you want to create? Of course, you want to be creating things like your web page copy, the stuff that's going to go on your website, your social media bios, which are going to help you to get ready to be seen. You want to be able to create blog posts, which are an important part of being seen as well. We'll go into more of that. You can create things like online stores or have content to share on your online stores, other listings, and of course, images. Plenty of things that you can create using these AI platforms. And again, they're simply designed to help you to create content quickly. Now, when I say quickly, I literally mean very quickly. Within seconds, you can have something created simply from typing to it in plain English exactly what you would like to have created. And if you would like to find these tools, you can literally just search for them on Google, type in ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, and you will find these tools come up straight away for you. All right. This is a visual which should make complete sense to you, and I will explain it nonetheless. You have the content that you're creating, whether it be through using AI, whether it be something that you create yourself. And then you have your ideal customers. And the whole purpose of creating content is simply to attract more of your ideal customers, right? Simply for you to attract more of your ideal customers. So all of the content that you create has got to be made with that intention, right? With that nia, your intention. So make sure that in the beginning, as you're creating the content, you want to be present to, again, the things that you would have covered in week one and in week two, right? Everything that you went through about sales and marketing. These are the things that now you're going to bring back up to feed to AI to help you to create the kind of content which is going to stick with your customers. Okay, so moving on. Coming back again to what we would have covered early on in this 10-week side hustle. Who can type in the chat the answer to this question? The answer to every marketing question is what? The answer to every marketing question is exactly, who is my customer? I absolutely love it. And well done to all of you for answering spot on with this particular question, right? The answer to every marketing question is, who is my customer? But you might be thinking, well, why are we bringing this back up again when we're talking about artificial intelligence? The reason being is because AI is simply going to help you to write to this particular person. And as I said, with my background in copywriting or just writing words that connect with the person that you're trying to get your products and services in front of, the important thing is to be really clear on exactly who you're trying to serve. I'm not going to go down too much of a tangent here, but it's important that we bring this up simply so that we have the right mindset towards using AI to create content. And it does relate to that 5-letter word beginning with S and ending in an S, with an L in the middle, an A after the S, and an E after the L. Sales. Exactly. Right? Sales. I want to share this paradigm with you before we move on because it does relate to who your customer is and, of course, how it is going to use AI to attract your customers so you can make sales. The best paradigm, the best way of thinking about sales that I've come across so far is that sales is selling, or rather, sales is serving with certainty. Sales is serving with certainty. I want you to write that one down in your notes. Maybe type it in the chat as well. Sales equals serving with certainty. Right? Okay, sales is serving with certainty. Why does this relate to AI? What's the relevance? The relevance being with anything that you create, your marketing tools, and we're going to show you some examples on the call, live on the call. With the information, the posts, the content that you create, that's what you want to have in the forefront of your mind. You want to be thinking, is what I'm going to create going to serve my ideal customer? Is it going to add value to them in some way, shape, or form? And if you can have some certainty behind that, then no doubt you can use AI to create lots of content and have plenty of value to be able to share and serve your ideal customers. Right? So I hope that helps. And we're going to re-presence this. Again, the UN is going to share a link in the chat so that we can get super clear on who your ideal customer is and how clear you are with your ideal customer. Whilst that's happening, I just want to re-presence this. And this is the beauty of the Rebel School's methods, right? Everything builds on what came before it. So here we are in week 9, building on some of the principles that we learned in week 1 and week 2, because everything matters. Everything is relevant towards building a holistic business, which is going to help you to serve lots of people. And if you're super clear on who your customer is, then it's going to be even easier for you to be able to go ahead, connect with them, put out the right marketing messages, use AI to create the right kind of content that's going to stick with them and make them super attracted to everything that you're going to be putting out. And thank you all for you voting on these polls. I can see this all happening live in front of me. The great news is what I'm loving seeing is the fact that only a few of you uh, have no idea at all in terms of who your ideal customer is, and that's not an issue. Some of you know a few basic things about them. Then others of you know the demographics and their general interests. Some more of you know problems, their goals, where to find them. And some of you also know their exact problems, their behaviors, and what keeps them up at night. Now, the beauty of this is if you're not 10 out of 10, if you're anything less than 10 out of 10, we have something to share with you at the end of this call that's going to help you to get super clear, crystal clear, granular, detailed, as close to as you need to be to understanding your target customer. Now, Simon didn't tease this at the beginning, and that's okay because it's meant that I get to tease at it now before we get off this call. And what we have in store for you is something that's going to help you to create content. Oh, I've left you on a cliffhanger there. Oh, it's only been revealed, no problem. But it quite simply is an AI marketing director. Now, let me explain what that is. An AI marketing director. Bear in mind, this is going to be available to you right at the end of this call. It's a GPT. All that simply means is you can log onto ChatGPT and you can engage with this AI marketing director. And it's going to help you to figure out everything that you need to know from a marketing perspective to help you get even clearer on who your ideal customer is. Maybe you're super clear on who your ideal customer is and you're like, yeah, I already know that. I'm 10 out of 10. Great. Perhaps you needed a go-to-market strategy. This AI marketing director that we created is going to help you with that. Maybe you're thinking about branding. I need to know a little bit more about branding. What can I do there? Again, this AI marketing director has been designed exactly for that. Maybe you're thinking about getting even clearer on who your ideal customer is, and you just need to go through that step by step. Again, this AI marketing director has been designed to help you do exactly that. And as I said, this will be made available to you at the end of this call so that you can dive straight into it and start utilizing this to get super clear on who your customer is, the kind of content you can create, and how it is you can have something that's going to help you to literally co-run your business. Now, this is available to you, alhamdulillah, thank God, entirely for free. Of course, this is what we do at Rebel. We love free. If you love free, type free in the chat, just so I know that we're all on the same page. Brilliant. Awesome. Right. This is going to be available to you again at the end of this call. And we want to serve you as much as we possibly can because you are all of our ideal customers. And our desire is to add massive value to you. And we want the feedback so that we can continue to do this for other people. So I'm super glad that you are all stoked to be able to get to using this GPT. Now understand when it comes to, content, content is king, right? Content is king. Now, whether you're creating content for LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X, the important thing is the fact that you simply need to find out where your customers are hanging out. For example, if you're targeting builders, you may not find builders on LinkedIn. However, you're going to find tons of different working groups, roofers, electricians, builders inside of Facebook. There are tons of those Facebook groups. So you've got to be thinking about where does my ideal customer hang out? And then what kind of content can I create for the platform that I'm going to find them on? And that's what the AI marketing director is going to help you to do. Now, if you are seeing this cat on screen, type cat in the chat. Type cat in the chat if you can see the cat on the screen. Brilliant. Awesome. Now, what I'd love you to do is take a moment. If you're sat down, stand up. And as you stand, I want you to reach for the ceiling. Reach for the ceiling. Get a nice big stretch. Now, whilst your arms are still up there, take a deep breath in with your arms raised. Brilliant. And one more. And last one for 3. Brilliant. Awesome. Now, if you can, I don't know next to you or what beside you, but put your arm up the side and just wiggle your fingers. All right. Okay. Awesome. Okay, you can sit down now, and we're going to go right back into the content. Okay. Next up, we have a variety of different AI tools. And I'm not showing you this simply so that you can be blown away by the number of different options that are available. I'm showing you this because in truth, there are dozens of new AI tools created every single day. In fact, these tools are created faster than the next headline can be printed for the next hot topic or whatever's happening in the world. That's how quickly these AI tools are being released. Again, for us, we simply want to make this easy for you to go straight to the tools which would be most useful for you, and of course, keeping it free. On a scale of difficulty to use, we have on the left side the easiest ones to use, and on the right-hand side, the hardest ones to use. In fact, the one right at the end, Replit, can help you to create entire apps. However, it's not free. So you don't even need to think about designing entire apps. And in fact, you're going to need to know about code as well if you would like to design and use Replit as a platform. So don't worry about that too much. Then we have some other platforms here. Customer service. This might be something for you if you're a little bit more advanced in business. And if you do have the good problem of finding it difficult to keep up with customer service, then platforms like Retail AI and VoiceFlow can be amazing for you to create customer service agents that can help you to manage your customer service. We have other platforms like productivity platforms, Perplexity, and Notebook LM, which I'm going to show you a live demo on today on this call as well. These can help you massively to come up with new, fresh ideas. And bear in mind, these are not just ideas that a machine like ChatGPT is just going to put out to you and make up from nothing. We're talking about information that is complete with sources. So you can have accurate information, accurate marketing to put out there. I'm going to show you how simple that is to do. Then we have note takers like Fathom, one of my personal favorites. And again, it's free for you to use. Fathom is simply something that you install on your laptop or your PC. And instead of you being on a call, sometimes being on a sales call, whereby you are intending to be present with who you're speaking to and take notes at the same time, put a 5 in the chat if you've ever had that difficulty of trying to be listening to the person you're speaking to at the same time as taking notes. Fathom is one of these platforms that helps you to focus entirely on being with the person, and it will take the notes for you. And again, the reason I recommend Fathom is because I've tested many of these other tools, and in my opinion and in my experience, Fathom is one of the very best for transcribing, for writing down what you've said with great accuracy. And it's free to use. And there isn't a forced upgrade after 1 month. It's entirely free to use for as long as you want to use it. Then we have these other basic thinking platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, which we've already touched on inside of this particular call. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move forward and we're going to get into a live demo using Perplexity and Notebook LM. Bear in mind, again, if you're totally new to this, and you've never heard of Perplexity before, you've never heard of Notebook LM before, that's completely fine. Not an issue. All we're going to do today is show you some really simple examples of how you can use both of these platforms to create specific content that relates to your ideal customer. So to get straight into it, I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to run through some live examples of exactly how to use them in combination. Even before I bring these up, let me just presence them for you. Perplexity is an incredible research platform. Instead of you simply typing something into Google to search for it, you want to use Perplexity simply because it will bring up everything that is sourced for you with links to exactly where it got the information from. So gone are the days of you trying to search for something and then thinking about, well, where is the source come from? Perplexity is that platform which will simply bring it to you, all of these sources. And then we also have Notebook LM. Notebook LM is incredible for creating specific types of content. And again, we're going to show you how to do that. So Perplexity, your research buddy. Notebook LM, your content creation buddy. Now I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to get right into looking at these two examples. Right. In the meantime, as I bring these up, what I want you to share in the chat so far is whether or not you're enjoying this. You know, it's always good for me to get a pulse check. If you are enjoying this, just put a number out of 5 in the chat so that I know how well we're doing with this. If 1 is like, this is way too advanced, it's going right over my head, and if 5 is, this is simple enough and I'm keeping up, please share your number out of 5 in the chat that relates to how it is you're getting on with the session so far. Brilliant. Awesome. Seeing lots of 5s for you 4s. Awesome stuff. All right. Okay, let me get right into this now. Okay. Simon, I can see you. So if you can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Simon. Okay, everyone, I can't literally see your comments at the same time, so I'm going to look at your comments as when I have shown you this particular demo. Now, we're starting on Perplexity. Again, this is entirely free. You can see down here it says upgrade to Pro. I'm on a free account, right? Now, with Perplexity, as I said, you use it much like you would use Google when you're searching for stuff. So what I've gone and done here is I've decided that I have a natural skincare product brand. I'm making natural skincare products. Now, you may or may not know some of the nasty ingredients that exist in your day-to-day products. And if you don't know, this might be exactly what it is you needed to find out. And if you do know, then you know exactly what it is we're going to find with the information that Perplexity is going to help us with. So, firstly, with Perplexity, I've written in this prompt which says, find me the most recent information in 2025 on natural skincare products, their ingredients, and why people are moving away from traditional high street products. Provide your findings as a numbered list with clean URLs on separate lines so that I can easily copy and paste. I've added this part for a reason because once it does give me these URLs, I'm going to pop them into Notebook LM and we're going to do some fun stuff with the information that it provides. Now, before we hit enter, I want to show you this. This says that you can set your sources for the search. So if I click on this, it can simply pull information from the web and it will give me these particular URLs. I can even search for academic papers. We can even do a social search, which we will do, in fact. So for now, I'm just going to copy and paste this so I can use it once again. And I'm going to hit enter and it's going to do a web search for me. So now it's thinking and it's bringing up all of this information. Now, in less than 5 seconds, it's gonna got me some very, very valuable information with regards to natural and organic brands that focus on ingredients like plant extracts, popular natural ingredients this year. I don't even know what this word says. Bakuchiol. First time I've heard of that word before. Why consumers are moving away from traditional high street products, environmental sustainability and ethical sourcing, so on and so forth, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these URLs, just these website links, and then I'm going to come over to Notebook LM, and then I'm going to click on Create New Notebook. Once I've clicked on Create New Notebook, it's going to ask me for the sources. So what Notebook LM does is it will take the information that you have given it, and it will specifically focus on the information that you fed it to provide answers for you. So I'm going to click on website just under link, and then I'm going to paste in these URLs one by one so that I can get some very valuable information out of Notebook LM. All right, so I'm just flicking back and forth and copying these URLs and putting them right into Notebook LM. Now, what I'm going to show you in a moment with Notebook LM is a variety of different types of content that can be created using Notebook LM. And as we said, this relates to your ideal customers, and your intention with your ideal customers is to serve them with certainty. In other words, you want to be certain that the content that you create for them is going to add value to them, it's going to serve them. Once I've got these links into Notebook LM, I click on Insert, and you'll see that it's analyzing these links in real time. Now it's come up with information as it relates to exactly what we just searched. Now that these sources are clear and here, we can create a variety of different types of content with regards to these sources on natural skincare ingredients and brands for 2025. So now, if I want to create an audio overview, you might be thinking, wait, this can create sound, talk, voices? Exactly that. So we can do a deep dive on this. Or we can do something brief. We're going to do something brief, and I'm going to tell it to focus on the most popular natural ingredients for skin, for homemade skincare products. Want to have an audio that empowers my audience of customers that want to use kind, natural, nasty-free products. I'm going to copy that as well. I'm just going to click on generate, and it's going to take a few minutes to be able to create this audio overview. And we'll be able to play it live on this call so you can see exactly what it puts together. Now, what's also important is you can create videos around this, like explainer videos, mind maps to analyze the source of information that you just got from Perplexity, and reports. Now, inside of reports, however, it's going to be something really cool. So inside of these reports, you can create a blog post which relates to exactly what you've just found from Perplexity. So if I click on that, it opens up this, and it already has a prompt inside of here that we can use. I'm going to keep it super simple, and I'm simply going to say, the exact same prompt that we asked for the audio, which is focus on the most popular natural ingredients for homemade skincare products. I want to have a blog that empowers my audience of customers that want to use kind, natural, nasty-free products. Then I click on generate. And again, it's going to create this and it will take a few minutes, no problem. But in the meantime of this taking a few minutes, I want to show you something which relates to generative AI, maybe at another level. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and I'm going to ask Simon to make sure that his phone is ready to hand. Simon, do you have your phone available? And is your phone not on Do Not Disturb?
I'm just going to switch it off. No, I'm ready, Yusuf. I'm ready.
Brilliant. Awesome. Okay. So everyone, just listen out to what is about to happen with Simon. For context, I may or may not be having my AI assistant call Simon
Phone
right
is
now.
ringing. Hello.
Hi, Simon. This is Sophia from Streamline AI. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great, Simon. Thank you for asking. I'm here to share how Streamline AI can help your business. Do you have a moment to chat?
Okay, sure. Let's go ahead.
Perfect. So, Simon, Streamline AI specializes in creating AI voice agents like me to help businesses run more efficiently. I can handle tasks like answering customer inquiries 24/7, booking appointments, and even directing calls to the right team members. This frees up your staff to focus on more important tasks and helps you save time and boost revenue. Does that sound like something your business could benefit from?
Maybe, but I'm a simple man. I like simple things. I'm worried that something like this would overcomplicate the business. Do I really need it? Can it really help?
I completely understand, Simon. Simplicity is key, and that's exactly what Streamline AI aims to provide. An AI voice agent won't overcomplicate things, it'll actually make them easier. For example, it can handle repetitive tasks like answering FAQs or booking appointments, so you and your team can focus on what really matters. It's like having an extra set of hands that works 24/7 without needing breaks. Does that sound a bit more reassuring?
Yeah, a little bit, but we're busy. I don't know if we've got loads of time to invest in this. What's the time commitment to create the information that enables this FAQs thing to run, for example? How long is it going to take?
Great question, Simon. Setting up an AI voice agent is actually
Thanks.
pretty straightforward. Streamline AI works closely with you to gather the information we need, like your FAQs or booking process, and we handle the heavy lifting. Most businesses only need a few hours to provide the basics, and we take care of the rest. Once it's up and running, it saves you countless hours every week. Does that sound manageable?
Yeah, maybe. What are the kind of costs involved?
I can't quote you on a price without first knowing about your specific business needs. And to give you an estimate, some of our clients invest up to £9,000 to get started with a voice AI system complete with multiple integrations. You can also get started with as little as £500 per month for a voice AI agent. Was this within the range you expected for a solution like this?
I didn't know, to be honest. I've never done anything like this before. The technology is pretty new. What's the number one thing that I should be looking out for when we're having an initial conversation? What's the most important thing that I need to be aware of?
That's a great question, Simon. The most important thing to focus on is how the AI can solve your specific pain points. For example, if you're missing calls or struggling with response times, the AI can handle those seamlessly. Also, think about how it integrates with your current systems. Streamline AI ensures it fits smoothly into your workflow. It's all about making your life easier, not harder. Does that help?
Yeah, I think my other concern is that the system won't talk to the existing software that I use. So, for example, we've got a CRM. Will it integrate with a CRM system?
Absolutely, Simon. Streamline AI is designed to integrate with most CRM systems and other software you already use. We customize the setup to ensure everything works together seamlessly, so there's no disruption to your current processes. Which CRM are you using, if you don't mind me asking?
We use Zoho at the moment.
Got it, Simon. Streamline AI can integrate with platforms like Dateline to ensure all your customer interactions and data flow smoothly into your CRM. This way, you won't have to worry about managing multiple systems. It'll all work together. Would you like to explore how we can tailor this for your business?
One of my friends has suggested that we should see if you can do a free trial. Is it possible for us to trial something without spending any money first?
That's a great idea, Simon. While we don't offer a completely free trial, we do provide a consultation to understand your needs and show you exactly how the system would work for your business. This way, you can see the value before making any commitments. Would you like me to schedule a consultation for you?
Can you call me back tomorrow morning at 9:30? I have to run to a Zoom call now.
Simon, I've scheduled a call for tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. to discuss this further. Best of luck with your Zoom call, and I look forward to speaking with you then. Take care.
Thanks, Sophia. Bye. Yusuf, I feel like I've just been schooled in how to run a cold call. That was super interesting.
Brilliant. Thank you for having your phone to hand. And for context, everyone, that was one of my virtual assistants, Sophia, that handles calls for my particular business. And see a comment here that says, am I paying for this AI? We create AI agents like this to help people and help different businesses. Now, as I said, this particular platform is something that you may not need at this particular stage of your business journey. And we wanted to show you would be platforms. Now, before we go getting ahead of ourselves, we are going to dive right back into exactly where we left off with some of the content that we were creating. Promise you I'm still with you. Thank you. Now, coming back to where it is we left off with regards to the content we were just creating, here's what we have now. Okay, Simon, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up again if you can see my screen. Brilliant. Awesome. Okay, so now we can take a look at the blog that Notebook LM has just written for us. What we can see here is a guide to the most popular natural ingredients for kind, glowing skin. Now, remember what I said earlier. This is brilliant for first drafts. Now, the reason why this is important is because you've only got some sources from Perplexity, which is sourced information. And with that sourced information, you've been able to put that into Notebook LM, which has gone and written you a blog that you can use to put out for your particular audience. And this has taken, I don't know, just a number of minutes, really. Again, the most important thing is once you have something like this created, all you want to do is make sure that you put your human touch on it. In other words, you want to read through what has been created, maybe rewrite some of these things in your tone of voice. Maybe take out some things that might not be relevant to the value that you want to put out for your ideal customers. The simplicity of it is that you can get this kind of content created very quickly. And again, it can save you lots of time. And that's the power of using these two platforms, Perplexity and Notebook LM. Now, as I did say, we can actually check out the audio overview that it created, which is right here. And I'm not sure if you can actually hear it as well as I can hear it. Simon, give me a thumbs up if you can hear this. No? Okay, no problem. So if you can't hear this, not an issue whatsoever, but essentially it's put together a minute and a half of audio, which explains information about these sources so that my audience that cares about natural skincare products can listen to this. This means I can take this information and literally share it and have my own podcast ready to go without having to use my own voice. It's an AI generated voice using the information that I found and put out. So this is the power of using these two platforms, Perplexity and Notebook LM. Something else I want to show you just before we move forward is the fact that inside of Perplexity, yes, you can do a web search, and you can also do a social search. In other words, you can search for what people are talking about on social media platforms. So if I bring this up, if I toggle web off, and then I come down to social and toggle social on, then I get to do a social search and see what people are talking about. Now, the relevance of this, your customers are going to want to share their thoughts, their opinions on what's important to them. And most of the time, people share freely, openly, and honestly on social media platforms on a variety of different topics. So if I hit this enter, it's going to think again and it's going to pull up relevant information about natural skincare products from social media. And as you can see here, it's giving me the exact sources of where it's found this information from. So now if I want to take this information and say, here's what people are speaking about with regards to natural skincare products or whatever your business type is, I can grab this information, put it into Notebook LM and create a blog post out of it, create a video article, create a podcast out of it. And this is how it is you can create content which is going to be relevant to your audience based on research, which is going to connect with them and add value to them. All right. Now, once again, I hope that was simple enough and clear enough. I'm just going to scan the comments again really quickly to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay. All right. I think a few of you might have been totally blown away by Sophia speaking with Simon. That's completely okay. We are here to simply show you the information that is possible with regards to AI. And then, of course, just to bring it back down to the ground so that we are ready to use what's relevant to us. All right. I'm going to ask, begin sharing the slides once more. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Now, moving on from that, we had that brief demo with Sophia. And of course, we looked at what can be created using Notebook LM. Okay. Now, again, it's a question that has just been shared with me. For clarity, my AI agent, Sophia, the voice from that was not from Notebook LM. The voice from that was from a platform called 11 Labs. Some of you may have heard of 11 Labs already. Some of you may not. However, it's a different platform that was used for Sophia's voice. And it's an actual human voice. It's actually a friend of mine who recorded that voice and made that available. So if you would like to clone your voice and use it for your own audiobooks, that's something that you can do as well using a platform called 11 Labs. I think somebody's already typed it in the chat. And yeah, there's a few different platforms that go behind creating something like Sophia. So once again, we're talking about creating content and using AI to drive traffic to your business. The next most important platform that I want to make you aware of is Kit. Kit is an incredible platform, especially when it comes to keeping communication with your audience and with your community. Now, the reason why we're recommending Kit, again, is because we love free and we love to have platforms that give you massive leverage for very little expenditure or no expenditure. Now, a platform like Kit, of course, all of you have now met the Donegans. I know the Donegans use Kit because I'm following them on Kit. And a lot of the emails that come from them also come from this platform. Now, what this means for you, quite simply, is that you can sign up to Kit, again, entirely for free. There's no cost, there's no catch. Kit used to be called Convert Kit. Now they've just called it Kit. So they removed the convert, just called Kit now. You can have up to 10,000 subscribers, again, entirely for free. And you can send an unlimited number of emails to all of those subscribers. Now, some of you may have heard of different platforms like MailChimp or MailerLite or ActiveCampaign or whatever else. Again, the most important thing is being able to use something with massive leverage entirely for free or as cheaply as possible. And that's why we recommended Kit, because there's no limit to the number of emails that you can send in order for you to keep in touch with your audience and with your community. Now, to share something with you, and you want to write this one down, it's said in marketing or in copywriting that each email on your email list can be worth up to £1 per month to your business. £1 per month to your business. What that means is if you have 1,000 subscribers to your email list, and again, the purpose of the email is a very intimate thing, by the way, right? There are some emails we don't open simply because we don't know the sender. There are some emails we look forward to because we know that the person sending it is going to give massive value to us. And yes, you can create campaigns on Kit as well. You can also create welcome sequences. There's a bunch of stuff you can create on Kit, landing pages, so on and so forth. Now, as it relates to your particular customers, you want to be able to ensure that you're adding value to them. So when your email shows up in their inbox, they want to open it because they're thinking, okay, Simon's about to share some really cool value around coaching with me. I can't wait to open this email. And you build that digital relationship with your audience. And as you do, they become people that will also refer you to others because they know every single time they open that email, they're going to get value from you. And that's why your email list can be worth up to £1,000 per month to your business if you have 1,000 email subscribers. What you don't want to do is send a sales email every single day. What you do want to do is, again, add value to them consistently. That might be through the frequency that you choose is going to work for you. And if we have the AI marketing director, which will be available to you to help you figure this out as well. All right. After you've built your list, another platform which I think we haven't even touched on. Some of you may know this particular platform, Anna Money. Anna stands for Absolutely No Nonsense Accounting. Anna Money. This is one of our partners. And what they've done is they've only gone ahead and made one of their AI platforms available to us, which will help you to have all of your tax related and money questions answered. Now, bear in mind, this particular platform, Anna Money, their AI agent is called Terrapin, and it's trained on specifically the information from gov.uk. So it's all completely available to you based on valid information from gov.uk. All right. And it's on Rebel Plus. So if you haven't yet signed up to Rebel Plus, then this will be the next platform that you go to in order for you to be able to go ahead and make full use of this particular platform. And yes, Anna is UK specific as well. All right. As already mentioned earlier today, a great platform which is going to help you to take notes and then, of course, review exactly what happened on any particular call is called Fathom. This is going to be something which is easy to plug in if you use Google Meets, if you use Zoom, if you use Microsoft Teams, whichever platform that you use for your video calls, it connects directly into it so that you can go ahead and focus on your meetings, being present on them, whilst one of these takes notes for you in the background. Okay. Now, before I share with you the homework for tonight, I want to share with you my take-home message for today. Now, we've really just scratched the surface with regards to AI and what is possible in terms of using these different platforms. And there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can use them. And we have resources to follow that you can really utilize to get stuck into some of the platforms that we've covered today. So again, you can go ahead and make the most of what it is we shared with you. The important thing is this: when it comes to artificial intelligence, these tools, these digital tools, are simply designed to help you to be more efficient, either to save more time or to be more effective at the things that you're already doing on a day-to-day basis. In using these AI tools, this is my personal belief. Take it or leave it. You don't have to embrace this, but this is my personal belief when it comes to utilizing artificial intelligence. What you want to do is use AI to help you to free up your time. Meaning, if your typical workday is 8 hours, and through the use of AI, you've saved 2 hours a day, my personal recommendation, don't just fill those 2 hours that you freed up with more work so that you can simply do more of the work that you've already been doing. Because then AI has actually only helped you to accelerate your way to possibly burning out because you're doing more with the exact same time that you had before. My personal belief and how it is I believe we should use AI is to free up our time, not so that we can just grind more and do more work, but so that we can actually reinvest some of this time that's been freed up in order to spend with the people that we love most. And in order to do the things that AI simply cannot do, which is live life as we do as human beings, right? The important thing, and again, as I said, 8 weeks ago, I was going under the knife and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, right? That really brought home to me exactly how important time is. It's our invaluable currency. So with the time that you're going to have freed up utilizing AI, fill that time with something that will be invaluable, like a few moments more spent speaking to your parents, or reconnecting with a family member that you haven't spoken in a while, or even spending more time just petting your cat because you've got a bit more time on your hands, whatever it is. Don't let AI be a tool that just drags you into more work. Utilize it so that you can actually go and do what humans do and live more of life. That is my take-home message for you. I hope you embrace that. If you do, fantastic. If you don't, I still hope AI serves you. And the homework, so to speak, again, I'm going to be back on Thursday for a Q&A. The homework is simply to utilize the AI marketing director, which we're going to share with you. We're going to get this link out to you via email. Bear with us because, of course, it is 9:30 p.m. and I'm sure that the Rebel team is going to need a little bit of a break this evening. So we'll aim to get this over to you by tomorrow afternoon, inshallah, God willing. And you'll be able to get right into using the AI marketing director so that you're going to be able to start getting some more clarity in terms of marketing, knowing who your customer is, and being able to connect more clearly and powerfully with your ideal customers. All right. That is us for today. Simon, we've got a bit of time on our hands, and we could do a few more things, in fact. So I'm going to invite you to parlay with me here.
I can't think of anything I'd rather do. I guess for me, a couple of things. I saw someone talking about podcasting, and then there's someone else that was asking about community platforms. Can't remember who that was. And I was just experimenting whilst you were talking, Yusuf, and I was thinking, okay, well, let's find out what ChatGPT has to offer. And I've asked it for some free podcasting I asked it to put the results in a table and compare them so I could get a sense of which one would be the best for my needs. So if you're interested in free podcasting platforms, the one that caught my eye was something. There was one called Buzzsprout that you get a free plan, which includes an upload limit of 2 hours per month, and one called Podbean that gives you 5 hours a month. So that was kind of interesting. I thought, okay, well, let's see. Let's just dive in and experiment, see what comes up. So Buzzsprout and Podbean for podcasting. For the collaboration stuff, someone that was asking about community. There's one called, well, we use Slack actually in the team. There's a free version of Slack, depending on what you want, really. There's another one called Trello. If you want a live collaboration thing, there's a website called Miro, which is free, Miro. And if you want to be able to have conversations with people and co-create things, you could move sticky notes around the screen. I've never had so much fun with digital sticky notes as I do with a Miro board. So I was just sort of touching on the questions that came up in the comments. But thank you for this evening. So, folks, we've got a little bit of time. If you've got a question to ask, we'll have a look at the questions that you're asking. Yusuf Annette's asked one about free platforms that help you create online courses. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Free platforms that help you to create online courses. The first platform that comes to mind, which I'm now thinking if it's free or not. I know it has a free trial. I'm not sure if it's entirely free. Is a platform called School, Skool. I don't know if I can type that in the chat or if one of the team can, Skool. In terms of building a community and having courses, this is a platform that you can utilize where you can create classroom style modules and information and video value for people that can join your community. It can also help you to, manage your community with a lot more ease and fluidity, because everybody's inside of that same space. If you imagine trying to use a Facebook group for a community, it's great because you can get everybody into that community group. However, you miss the opportunity to monetize your community. And at the same time, it's not always easy to create educational content or content of value that is easily accessible to everybody inside of a Facebook group. So a platform like School would be one of the first ones I would think of. And I'm also aware that Halima from the Rebel School has also created an entire resource around which platforms you can use if you're a creator and you want to create some kind of a community. She compared the best platforms to use in this instance. So we will get that value. And who was it that asked the question, Simon?
That was Annette.
Annette. Okay, Annette. If we don't share it with everybody, we will definitely intend to get that over to yourself. And if we can get it over to yourself, perhaps we can also get it to everybody. So God willing, we'll get that information over to you.
Yeah, beautiful. And I think to me, what I'm about to do, Yusuf, is demonstrate whilst I should be made redundant from answering these questions. Because there's something here. I'm just looking for. Oh, there we go. That's the one I was going to do. So let's answer the course creation. And I think to me, can you see the prompt on the screen, Yusuf?
I can see. Where should we begin?
Yeah, great. So I'm on ChatGPT now, and the thought that was going through my mind is if someone said to me, Simon, I need to find some image creation software because I've tried different ones and they didn't work. I remember when Midjourney first came out, I realized I had to go with Midjourney and I lost about 90 minutes of my life. And I like to think that I'm quite tech savvy, but that was sort of, when it was quite early, and I found myself on Discord, which was ironic because I had quite a lot of Discord with this. I lost about 90 minutes of my life. And the only thing that I managed to create in that 90 minutes was a headache. So I thought, okay, maybe this AI image creation isn't for me. But of course, that was a while ago now. That was a good couple of years ago. So the world's changed a little bit. So when someone says to me, I need to get some really good images off AI, which platform should I use? Now, I have used the AI image creation tool that's built into Canva. So even on the free version of Canva, you can use that. So when you're creating marketing and documents and so on, you can use that stuff. And it's actually, I found it's okay. Sometimes it's a bit hit and miss. If your ask is quite niche, sometimes you get something called slop, which I think is a really horrible word. I don't know if you've come across that. But that's that thing when it gives you 11 fingers on one hand and then like your arm coming out of the side of your ear and stuff like that. Like, it's not perfect. But if someone asked me that question, what would I do? Well, it's the garbage in, garbage out thing again, folks. You put garbage in, you'll get garbage out. But if you give it a really good prompt, then who knows? So for example, I might say, I say hello. Like, I'm one of those that I like to have interactions, folks. I know that I saw someone type a question you're asking about, should you say hellos and please and thank yous, because doesn't it take up more data? Well, yeah, I think they've got a plan for that, haven't they? I think they're planning to figure that out. But I don't know about you, Yusuf, but I really like to have a collaboration with a highly engaged co-worker that I can chat to when I'm not physically in the space with the Rebel team and I'm working alone. And this thing, it's friendly to me, so I'm friendly back. I seem to get good results. So anyway, so I might say something like this. I go, hey, chat, I need to find a free, highest quality possible image creator, AI image creator. Please, can you review the top 5 free ones that I can use that are the easiest to use too. Please send the results in a table with website links so I can check them out. And
awesome.
There we go. The one that it didn't come up with in that list. Are you familiar with any of those, Yusuf?
DALL-E, yes. DALL-E is by Microsoft, as we can see there. And it is also pretty good for creating these kind of images. I guess one of the benefits of using a platform like DALL-E is that it's really good at taking your instructions on iterating on an image that is created and actually refining the image thereafter. So say, for example, if you're using Gemini to create an image, what I've noticed is that whilst Gemini can create some really good images, you almost need to create an entirely new thread or a new chat with Gemini with the same prompt to get a different iteration of the same image. Whereas if you're using something like DALL-E, it's much better at saying, okay, if you create like the image we saw earlier, the red banana with 4 limbs and 2 eyes, and you wanted to edit that and give it 3 eyes instead, Gemini would struggle with adding a 3rd eye. Whereas DALL-E would be able to actually understand that request and iterate on the image it's already created to give you something else that you have specified.
Yeah, lovely. The one that it didn't put, which I only heard of today, I've never actually used it before, but there's one called Leonardo. Have you used that one?
Leonardo AI. I have heard of it.
Hey,
I've heard of it. I haven't used it personally.
Let's find out. Hey, chat. Today I heard of a website called Leonardo that might be an AI generator. Can you review that and insert into the table? Yeah, looks like a pretty good result.
Very good.
Uh, uh, this is the thing that blows me away about ChatGPT and Copilot and some of the similar ones. It already is starting to predict what it is I want to do next, which I love that. It's like, would you like me to dig into those details? No, because my brain's starting to fry. But actually, please, can you review another 5 free ones and add to the table? And to your point, Yusuf, this stuff is moving fast, isn't it? So I think,
Very.
it's about, I think the conclusion that I came to the other day, I don't know what you think about this. The conclusion that I came to was, start to set aside a couple of hours a week, whatever works for you, whether it's 20 minutes a day, whether it's over a coffee at the weekend, and actually go, I'm just going to experiment with some of these tools, and I'm going to pick one and I'm going to do a slightly deeper dive. And I think what I've noticed is that some of you, I'm sure, have seen the content from people that are reviewing websites. It's illegal websites, secret websites, the websites that they don't want you to know about, and all these like really interesting kind of hooky social media posts. But what that's doing is it's sort of feeding our dopamine hit. I'm getting a new piece of information, but I'm not actually doing anything with it. I think, to your point, and this is why the homework is so important, I think, is actually to sit with this stuff, just pick one and do a little deeper dive and experiment with it. That's what I would recommend, folks, is without trying to find the perfect one, because I don't think it exists. It's moving too fast. Think of something that you're interested in, whether it's video, music, image creation, or something that would be useful for your business. Use ChatGPT or Copilot or one of the others to help you to narrow your focus into which one should I start with, and then lock in. Treat yourself to a gluten-free, sugar-free piece of cake and a cuppa, and just sit with it for half an hour and remember to take breaks. In fact, I know this to be true. If you took a 3-minute break every 15, 20 minutes, that you would actually be able to sit with it for a lot longer. What tends to happen, and I've seen this on our courses, what tends to happen, especially with technology, is that we get drawn into these shiny screens, and then you start having a go at something and it gets a bit frustrating. And before you know it, 90 minutes has gone by and we've not given ourselves a break, especially for some of the neurodiverse folk amongst us that would find, sitting with this, some people get like totally hyper focused on it and it's not good for your well-being. I know that from personal experience, right? So there's something here about managing your time. There's something here about being kind to yourself and saying, right, what feels like a reasonable period of time a week for me to allocate to AI learning? That was a great emoji. I don't know what that was, Patrick, but I enjoyed that. Oh, was it an egg timer? I mean, how do you manage your time, Yusuf, when you're doing this stuff? Because you've spent 1 or 2 hours a week researching artificial intelligence, if not a touch more. What works for you?
Yeah. So the important thing with artificial intelligence, I think, first of all, what you've got to do is exactly what Simon suggested and choose one platform and dedicate some time to getting to know that particular platform. As we already said, and as we already know, there are dozens of new AI tools released every single week. There is no shortage of the next shiny new object. And again, we're talking about AI, but it's the same thing in business. What you want to avoid is shiny object syndrome. You don't want to get caught up in looking for the next tool or gimmick or thing that looks fancy and, put a break on what you're already doing, because chances maybe you haven't given yourself enough time to actually test and measure how one thing actually works. So choose one and focus on it. And if you're not sure, then again, the easiest way to do it, go to Perplexity and ask which AI tool is best for, and then the task that you're trying to complete. It might be, for example, image creation. It might be writing. It could be designing PDFs, right? But let AI tell you which platform is the best, because it can save you the time in terms of you looking yourself And then once you've found the answers, as of course ChatGPT just recommended Leonardo AI, you can decide to do a deep dive on that.
Yeah,
And
nice.
don't go too far down the rabbit hole.
I love that. And Anna says, "No, I want to try them all." You can try them all, Anna, but my recommendation would be you don't try them all at once. Like it's it's like the buffet. Question from Bala Kareem Yusuf says, "Hi Yusuf, how can I build my own Sophia? Do I need to use workflows?"
How can you build your own Sophia?
Yeah,
So
in a nutshell,
Sophia,
what's the process? That obviously it's an involved process, but
of course.
give us a sense of direction for Bala.
So the platform that we use to build Sophia, let me type in the chat. It was on screen as well. Trying to get to everyone in the meeting. Okay, it's called Retail AI, right? Retail AI is the platform that we use to build AI voice agents. Now, in truth, you could probably find a template online for a voice agent that can help you to build something like Sophia. The important thing about building something like Sophia isn't actually just getting it done, it's the testing that you have to go through once it is built to make sure that it can handle different conversations when it's pushed. For example, you know your business very well. Bala, if you can type in the chat what business you have so that I can make this relevant to the question that you've asked. Okay, sales consulting, right? So, Bala, you know all about sales consulting. And so, if somebody asked you, what's the best way to identify a good sales consultant from somebody who just could be posing or posturing? You know the answer to that question because you have experience behind you in terms of answering that, lived experience, because you are a sales consultant. And so that information is readily available to you. When it comes to your voice AI agent, it's really going to do as well as it can based on the information that you program it with. And so, one part about it, again, something like voice AI is great if you already have SOPs in place, standard operating procedures, simply because whatever you would train a new team member, a new member of staff on, is exactly the same information that you would give to a voice AI agent so that it can speak and act on your behalf like an actual team member would. Only that it does it at scale with a bit more context. And because it has a brain, quote unquote, ChatGPT, it can kind of think on its feet to provide a little bit more context around some iffy questions that you might get. So you can start by using retail AI to get stuck into building out these voice agents. And then if you have other platforms, say you're using a Google Calendar or you're using something else whereby you need to book something into your calendar or you need it to make a specific request, take a payment, send a text for a payment link, all of that stuff are different integrations that you can put in your voice agent as well.
Yeah, nice.
Barla, please let me know in the chat if that answered your question. And if you have a follow-up question, feel free to ask. Awesome.
So
I'm glad it helped, Barla.
yeah, nice. Thank you, Yusuf. I think there was a question that caught my eye in the chat from Adeola who said, is there a specific AI tool to curate daily news on topics / area for your business to save scrolling online? I love that question. I've actually had something running for some time pre-AI, but I'm interested in that. How would you approach that, Yusuf, if you were going to create an AI tool? Is that an agent? Is that simply a prompt that you can revisit every day and ask it to send you every day? I think this is a really cool question. How would you approach that? What sort of things go through your mind?
That is a brilliant question. Curating news to stay on topic of my field is vital. And how can one avoid copyright or IP issues? Really just staying up to date. Again, I would literally come right back to a platform like Perplexity, simply because these platforms have access to everything that's available on the internet live and direct right now. And you can simply specify it in the prompt in terms of, okay, find me. Adiola, if you could also share which business type you're involved in or the industry that you're involved in, so I can answer this with a little bit more context. I'll give you a few seconds. All right. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, fashion. Brilliant. Okay, so fashion. Find me the latest news on fashion, specifically women's wear, that, okay, and for a bit more context, Adiola, it's fashion, women's wear, and kimono trends. Okay, that relates to kimonos. Kimonos. All right. And then, okay, so I'll just pop that in the chat now. And I'm going to copy this and put it into Perplexity as well. And we can just run this live so you can see what we'll get out of Perplexity. Let me share my screen with you once more. All right, here we go. News as of, what is the date today? Okay. Let's say the 1st of November, 2025. All right. And now it's finding this information. And again, it's giving me the sources as to where it pulled this information from. Now, this information, I'm not sure if it is going to be as up to date as the 1st of November, so we can open some of these up and see. Okay, so this is 15th of July. The next one is, we open this up, Instagram post, not logged in, 13th of February. So again, I guess it depends, because there may not actually be daily updates on your industry and what it is you could be searching for. So it will pull some of this information for you. And then from the sources that it gives you, you can do a little bit more of a deep dive on what could be coming up. Let me reject these cookies. I can see that this is open until November the 9th. So perhaps going by the date, this could be a little bit more relevant to what you're searching for, female clothing and kimonos. So yeah, that's what it is I would do in terms of trying to find up-to-date information in terms of whatever's relevant in your industry. Danielle said, any recommendations for AI platform that can play podcasts, songs, etc. at scheduled times? Scheduled times, very interesting. Danielle, can you expand on your question so I understand further? Platforms that can play podcasts or songs at scheduled times. Okay. Like during a commute or something. I'm not sure that I fully understand your question, Danielle, in terms of recommendations for an AI platform that can play podcasts or songs, etc. at scheduled times, or like at 7 a.m., like at 7 a.m. Spotify podcast daily. In all honesty, I don't actually know. An AI platform that can automatically like log in and then play the actual podcast for you at that time. I'm unaware of a platform like that without having to ask or type. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that in particular, Danielle. Oh, but somebody has just recommended Podbean. Ah, thank you, Simon.
No worries. I'm furiously typing away here, Yusuf. I think so. I think just going back to Adeola's question, Yusuf, whilst you were talking, I did a chat GPT version, and I love your thought of using Perplexity. I'm not so familiar with that one yet, but it's definitely in my horizon as my next little thing to play with, partly thanks to you this evening. So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, these questions that you've got, folks, this is a brilliant way of you experimenting with these GPTs. And if you haven't done so already, have a go at experimenting and asking it a question. So inspired by Adeola's question, I've typed in, hey chat, I want to create a daily newsfeed about my business and area of expertise. Can you do this for me? Do I need a third-party app? How does it work? What's the most efficient way of doing it? Ask me any questions, right? And the response it's come up with is great. It's come up with a step-by-step process of, right, first we're going to clarify your goal. So it's asked me some questions. Secondly, it's given me a table of 3 options for how to do it. I can do it directly here. We can do a third-party tool, or we can do a hybrid best of both. And one of the things that I did a while ago for a different business was I set up Google Alerts. Whenever there's a specific term that's mentioned on any news network that goes through Google, I get an email about it, like a daily roundup of every single time that term has been mentioned, which is sort of like a pre-AI way of doing it. But it's kind of interesting. You can have both things running. And with some of the stuff that Youssef shared tonight, if you are getting automatic emails, which are Google News alerts, you can simply download those and whack them into ChatGPT or Perplexity or any of these other tools and get them to sort it out for you and draw out key insights and turn it into 10 social media posts that you can then schedule using a third-party scheduling app. Like, it's really cool. And I think, like, to me, there's one word I want you to have in your heads, guys, and that's play. Like, you know what I mean? This is something to go and play with. It's the sort of thing that if you treat it through the lens of, let me just have a play with this and see what I can figure out, and maybe I'll watch a video or two alongside me playing with it. You know, I'll give you a very quick example. So, folks, I don't know if you've seen the where people have been posting different genres of famous songs. So, for example, the one I saw yesterday evening was Oasis singing Wonderwall, except it's a soul track from the 60s, right? So, and it's super interesting. And of course, they've created it using AI. I had a little play with one of the AI platforms which creates music. Now, I think, like, this really talks to those folk that are creatives and concerned about AI, whether you're an artist or a musician or whatever, right? So I was involved in a band for over 12 years, and I'm a musician. I'm not a great one, but I'm a musician, I'm a singer, and I've been creating music, right? So I jump onto this platform at the weekend, and my son Harry is with me, and we're sat in the kitchen. And the look on my face when he came down the stairs, he looked at me like I'd just invented fire, right? Because my face was like this. Whoa. Right. And the platform that I use, let me just see if I can find it here. Make sure I get the name of it correct. No, it wasn't that one. Suno. It was Suno, I think I used. Have you used it yet, Youssef? Because Suno, I don't know about, like, here's the thing that
Suno.
have you come across that one yet?
I haven't, no.
Right. So here's what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to share my screen, because I just want you to, and this is what I mean by play, right? And there's a really important point behind this that I want you guys to get about, are musicians going to be replaced? Okay. So let me share my screen now. Okay. Oh no, that's not going to work. Well, let's get rid of that. For some reason, I don't know if that. Can you see my screen now, folks? Can you see that, Youssef?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Right. Now, the process that we go through here is you literally go, right, write some lyrics. I'll get it to write some lyrics for me. Write a full song. A song about starting a business for free by Business Rebels. Right. And then I'll click the write lyrics button down at the bottom here. And then we'll get the wheel of doom just for a few seconds. And let's see what happens. Okay, so it's given me two songs, song on the left and a song on the right. There's one called the Rebel Startup Anthem. There's one called the Free Hustle Anthem. And I can scroll down these lyrics and go, which one of these do I like the look of the most? Start it for free. Yeah, that's my creed. There's something about that I quite like. Oh, it's gone. So literally I can choose. I don't know why. I think I clicked the wrong button here. Oh, there we go. Back again. Right. So I can select the left-hand option, start it up, start it free, or the right-hand option, start it free. Yeah, that's my creed. I'm going to choose that one. That's the sort of language that my son would resonate with more probably. And then I can type in this box here where it says styles. What kind of styles? Like my son keeps talking about lo-fi at the moment. So let's do lo-fi, electronic, indie. Let's mix our genres or whatever. And then the advanced options, I'm going to ignore most of these because they are the paid for version, but I can click male or I can click female if I want a female vocalist, and then click create. And I think, but bearing in mind, folks, that this has happened right in front of your eyes now. You can see I made a few songs over the weekend. Within 120 seconds, it's created 1, 2, 3, 4 different track alternatives. And for some reason, it's not letting me share my sound. So I'll post them in the Facebook group. But I think, if I hit the play button now, I can now listen to these songs. Now, the point that I wanted to make with this, musicians on the one hand, sorry, Herman, like musicians on the one hand will be going, this is an absolute disaster. I've created 4 alternative songs, including lyrics, in less than 2 minutes. And now it's mind-blowing, isn't it? Are musicians running to the hills? But what I noticed from the process was it took my ideas into directions that I never would have thought of. It's almost like starting with the end in mind and then go, no, I don't like that. Try this. I'm going to change these lyrics. I'm going to do that. And I would still want to record it myself, but I would get a little bit of help from my friends, which would be AI. So actually what I found was that it fueled my creativity. It didn't hold it back. And what I also found was it's increasing my productivity. So actually, anyone that knows me knows that I can sit and agonize over writing a song for about 5 years, right? Or sometimes they flow and, the thing can be written in 30, 40 minutes, but not finished. And actually, it makes me so much more productive. I can generate ideas faster. It stretches my thinking into new directions, but I'm still going to take that and I still want to be a person. I still want to be a human being. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like in an increasingly fake and digital world, we are crying out for authenticity, emotional connection. And those of us that are showing up real, especially if we are able to find our tribes, communities of people that like the same stuff as us, there are so many opportunities. The opportunities are exploding right in front of us. And that's why I'd say to you guys, you get what you focus on. You can be scared of this stuff, or you can see it as opportunities. The more that I play with it, these different tools and experience the possibilities of them, the more it's stretching my thinking and actually giving me more power. So it's about productivity. It's about a tool. It's about having, literally, this is why I think Microsoft's name for AI is so good, because it is like having a co-pilot, but it's not replacing me. It's given me new possibilities and opportunities. And I think that's the same for all of us in a world where, and this is going to be so much more important. This is my prediction that nobody asked for. My prediction that nobody asked for is that authentic human connection will be the commodity. That's what makes us special. That's what can't be replicated. That's where we need to go, folks.
I wholeheartedly agree. The reality is, and again, many people are perhaps maybe even a bit fearful, and no problem if they are, of how AI might impact their job and their work and so on and so forth. The reality is nothing can replace genuine human to human, eye to eye, face to face, real connection. And as AI will inevitably continue to grow, inevitably continue to create lots more content as it's already doing, people are going to massively value the live human in-person experience much more than ever before.
I reckon.
So lean on these things. I know Simon not long ago did a session on your story and how to put together your story. This is something that AI can't do for you. It's also something that AI can't replace because your story is unique to who you are as an individual. So utilize these tools as a way and as a means to do what you would do manually, but do it a little bit faster. But don't forget to add your human touch to everything that AI can create for you. Learn to use it so you can be the one with the advantage rather than somebody else who will inevitably use these tools to their advantage as well.
I can neither confirm nor deny if that's how the Donegans wrote the album. As you know, the Donegans did an album about financial independence. I think they probably did use part of the tools, but they also employed a producer and songwriter to help them co-write it. So I think, again, the thing for me is that this stuff does the heavy lifting. It's like Flash floor cleaner, folks. Artificial intelligence is like Flash floor cleaner. It does the hard work so you don't have to. Okay. So other
I
floor
love
cleaners
that.
are available, but if Flash would like to sponsor the Rebel Business School, I'm happy to sell out. Let me know. Send me a message. Because then, what do I want to do? Do I want to just use water and a scrubbing brush to clean my kitchen floor, or would I like to use some substances that can assist with the cleaning process? There are better ones out there, aren't there? The ones that are more environmentally friendly now, folks. Don't at me. I get it. I'm on it. It's okay. I'm on it. I spend extra on this stuff now. Digging a hole, Yusuf. Doing that. So, folks, I think I'm before closing messages. Yusuf, am I doing closing messages or are you?
I think I've delivered the closing message.
Have you? That was about an hour ago. I can't remember.
Yeah. But if there's anything else you'd like to leave them with, then feel free, Simon.
No worries. Well, the final thoughts from me are this, folks. As you've heard from Yusuf tonight, just get out there and experiment with this stuff. That's your homework, is to dive in, just have a go with it, and come to us on Thursday with your questions. We've got the benefit of Yusuf and I on Thursday. Guys, we don't have all the answers. This stuff's moving fast, but what I can promise is that between us, we will throw everything at trying to help you get the results that you need by using these amazing tools that are out there. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you on Thursday for the Q&A. Love the emoji, Rebecca. Thanks to everyone watching on YouTube as well. We'll see you for the Q&A Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time. Love you, bye.